What's up, everybody? Happy summer. Welcome back to the channel. This episode is going to be all about Figsperience, the things I've learned in my third year of truly growing figs out in pots and in ground. So let's hop right into this video, guys. Okay, so welcome to the jungle of figs. We have quite a few. We have a peach tree we dug out. We're going to give away. We just have a lot of stuff going on in here, some pepper plants, but you know, I've been getting rid of a lot of my fig trees. Either they were in ground and they weren't getting enough sunlight, or they were in pots and they just were varieties that were not going to do well here that I unfortunately had to get rid of. But as you can see, it is still a jungle back here and I gotta kind of figure this out. But I just want to talk about some Figsperience or experience growing figs that I think some of you new growers and even some old growers might get some value from. And this is talking about varieties and location. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is location. If you don't have a lot of sun, or basically sun, if you don't get enough sun, if you don't get at least, and I mean at least 6 hours of direct sunlight, it's going to be really hard to grow good figs. It's going to be really hard to get these plants to even put out figs and even ripen them in a timely fashion before the cool weather comes if you are in a northern zone. That's number one. Sunlight and warmth is very important for these. They're really subtropical plants. So they really need that heat. They really need that light to be able to produce fruit and to ripen them. Now, that is Figsperience tip number one. Now we're gonna get into some number two. Number two is all about variety. And there are about 1,000 probably varieties of figs that we know of today. And there's probably more that we don't know that are still being discovered, whether it be seedlings or from different countries, or just old trees in areas that people don't really stop to think, where did this fig come from? So I'm going to walk through some of my trialed and tried varieties, true and tried, that I think are going to be winners in this area, and that might be getting the chopping block. I've already got rid of Yellow Bypass. I've already gotten rid of some other ones. A lot of Mount Etna copies I had that just, I think honestly Chicago Hardy is the Mount Etna king. However you can say Zora's Dark, which I do not have yet, but just some things I want to talk about. I've gotten rid of a lot of figs that just will not do well here. I had about 4. I had a Col de Dame Gris, Col de Dame Noir, Col de Dame Roja, and Col de Dame Blanc. And honestly, out of last year, I liked my Col de Dame Gris and my Col de Dame Roja the most, even though they're kind of the same fig. I got rid of the other 2 Col de Dames. I either planted them at a local field, or I had to just throw them out. And I don't really like to kill my trees. I like to kind of keep them alive, because I feel bad, it's a living thing. So I try to plant them somewhere so at least they will grow. They might not produce fruit. Some other trees, Black Madeira is great here, and I will admit it's not great here, I'm sorry, but the fruit is great. And if we come in here on my Black Madeira, we can see, is this my Black Madeira? Yeah, there's all fruit sets starting to, it's just slowly beginning here. If I can get you in there without that leaf blocking, there's some little fig right there. There's a little fig up there. It's just starting to push out fruit as we talk here. So I'm excited for my Black Madeiras to get ready to start ripening. This is one of the best tasting varieties in my collection. However, it doesn't do great here, so it needs a little bit of a head start, and it needs to be in a pot in this area, Zone 7A, South Jersey. Here's another really good winner that actually does well here. I haven't tried it in ground yet, but I've heard some interesting stories. This is my Socorro Black, and this thing is loaded. It had a ton of Breba on here. However, unfortunately, I wasn't home and didn't water this tree, and it dried out and dropped a lot of the Breba, which is sad. But these 2 are looks like it's gonna ripen. There's probably about 10 on here before, but as we can see here, we come in, it is ready, pushing out all figs up and down all over its tree, stem here. So I'm excited for this. This is a really good fig. I gave it a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 last year. This is its second year, maybe third year technically, but Socorro Black is great. And that's why I have so many of these trees though, just scattered around my properties, because I wanted to trial them, and I'm realizing these really sought after varieties that might do great in California, like the new one is something Carmen, Senora de Carmen, I don't know what it's called, I forget the name of it, but everyone's trying to get after that one, but I don't think that's going to do great here, and it has to be trialed, of course. But I wouldn't spend the money on that tree. Or Sessic, or Kesak, however you say that. That's another one that looks like it's late. It's late for a fruit nut, or Stephen Winter. It's going to be late for you. He uses a greenhouse, and if he's still getting his late, it's going to probably be late here. It's going to be hard to get to ripen well. So it's just things you got to remember. Some of my favorites are Violette de Bordeaux. Always produces Ronde Bordeaux. Always produces Teramo Unknown. I have that guy in ground over there, always produces figs. Nerucciolo de Elba, have another one in ground there, which does not get enough sunlight. So that's another thing. That's not going to produce figs for me because this has actually 2 hours of direct sun and the rest is shaded, and I did not know that going into this. So I mean, it's kind of lanky, skinny growth, which isn't great. It's not going to produce. There's no double bumps here really, unfortunately, but we do have a copy that I'm planting right now in this pot, and we're going to move it in another spot in my yard that gets about 8 hours of direct sunlight. So let's move along. This is our Col de Dombroja. This is putting out figs now for us slowly, but just want to talk about some of the true and tried winners here. You know, this is Figo de Pesco Oro. This is actually not even, needs a pollinator, so why would I buy that? I'm not sure. Things like that, guys. It's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of space. I feel bad getting rid of this. What I'm going to do with it, I don't know. I might hold on to it for a year, not sure. Corona Lemons Black Cross, another great variety. This is a little bit later, but it can do well here in the ground or in a pot. And it is hardy. I left this actually outside this year. And it's not precocious. It takes a few years to put on figs, but it's just a great tree. Let's move along here. Let's see what else we have we can talk about. That's really what I wanted to talk about. I don't need to go through all of my varieties here and discuss. Smith, another standard fig. This boy's a big boy here. This is the second year as well from cutting, but I mean, they grow wildly. I mean, this is year 2 from a cutting. That's a pretty big tree for 2 years, and I pinched it already, so it would have kept growing. It's crazy. This is some of the vigor of these. Let's just continue moving along. Another Black Madeira. This is Hated de Argentile, which is a good one, but that's young. Bourgeois Crease is pretty much the same thing as Socorro Black. Why am I growing this? I don't know. I probably will get rid of this or give this one away to someone, and that's probably what I will do. I probably will definitely give this one away to a neighbor, a friend, or something like that. Someone who wants the fig tree, because this will do well in ground in this area, but it's just, I don't need 2 of the same varieties. I'm limited space. You know, Raspberry Latte is another one. It's super vigorous, but it's not going to do well here. It's going to split in the rains. It's a little bit later. It's just not precocious. It doesn't like to put out that many figs. So why am I going to keep something that is not going to do well for me? That's just kind of what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to discuss. If we continue over here, Long Daout, great fig to have in ground. You know, it does well. It has sun, and it's a good early variety that's going to ripen in my climate. Now, if we take a quick ponder over throughout my yard, you can see it's just like a line of figs. My parents do not like this. I'm getting rid of a ton. I've been getting rid of a bunch. I planted a red Lebanese back in the valley in a local field. That's doing great. It's actually loaded with figs, but it was just too similar to my Chicago Hardy that I already have in ground, so that I didn't think there was a point of having 2 Mount Etnas that were pretty similar. And I think that the Chicago Hardy was the better one. Now, this Chicago Hardy gets almost sun all day. However, it gets a 1 hour period. You can see the sun's coming back. 1 hour period of shade, which actually is kind of nice for this tree. It gets filtered, you can see, for 1 hour. It's just the tip of this tree. Just clips it, and then it goes all back into the full sun. But I mean, this tree is just loaded with figs in ground, and you can't beat this. You can't beat the amount of figs it puts out, its vigor. I mean, this has to be 8 inches to a foot of growth already, and it's just every branch. We can get in here. I mean, you can see it. Every branch is just loaded there with figs. So, I mean, that's what I really wanted to talk to you guys about, and that's about it. That's Figsperience. Learn the varieties, the true, tested, long felt heart, you know, recognized varieties. The Long Daouts, right? The Teramo Unknowns, the Hardy Chicago types, the Violette Bordeaux, the Ronde Bordeaux. These are the trees that are going to produce you figs in this area with ease. These are the figs that are going to, you know, ripen. You can look at even, you know, sorry, video cut off there, but again, guys, Celeste is another great one. Lateral Italian honey. Stick with the basics. Don't get fancy. Once in a while, new ones come out like Figoin, but that's been around forever. So is Nerucciolo de Elba, just hasn't gotten the press. Guys, stick to the true and tried varieties that we all love and know. The JH Adriatics of the world, the things that will do well in your area. Again, guys, it's all about efficiency, and it's not so much about name. Right? We don't want to be collectors, we want to be growers. We want to eat the fruit. We don't want to have cool names. We want to be able to eat and share the fruit with loved ones, not just have a cool name that no one really knows about except for us in the fig community. That's it. That's my Figsperience for today. You got to be able to plant them in the correct spot, guys, fit heat and light, but also you need to get the varieties that do well. Canadra, things like that. Things that do well in general. This is Growing with Nick. Any comments, drop them in the box below. If you disagree with me, tell me why, but I can't see a way around that. So yeah, peace guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.